I'm just wondering who are you trying to fool? We are not actually born yesterday, Secretary. Sa tingin mo po ba kaya mong paikutin ang mga tao sa hearing na ito kasama ang sambayan ng Pilipino?
I resent that. I am not fooling anyone. I resent that also coming from someone who was my former law student and who was my inaanak.
Your affidavit of support in favor of Mr. Alberto Rodolfo Y. de la Serna, your former EA, is found at the premises of the Pogo Lucky South 99. Pogo Lucky South 99 organizational chart submitted to PAGCOR and states that you are Lucky South 99's legal head. You went to you facilitated a meeting of Lucky South 99 with the PAGCOR chief, Tenko, and you were with Cassandra Ong and requested for Lucky South 99 extension of payment of its arrears. And yet, Secretary Roque, you deny to be a lawyer of Lucky South 99. I'm just wondering who are you trying to fool? We are not actually born yesterday, Secretary. Sa tingin mo po ba kaya mong paikutin ang mga tao sa hearing na ito kasama ang sambayan ng Pilipino? Of course, deny as much as you want. But the overwhelming pieces of evidence point to one thing. Any reasonable person will come to an unmistakable conclusion. You are part, or perhaps a lawyer, of Pogo South 99.
Mr. Chair, I resent that. I am not fooling anyone. I resent that also coming from someone who was my former law student and who was my inaanak. That's not the way to treat a resource person of this House. At least when I was a member of this House, we never treated resource persons in that way. I resent that for the record, Mr. Chairman.
May I ask the Honorable Member Kong Salo to refrain in issuing statements that would insult our resource persons. I am not saying you are, but try to avoid issuing statements that would hurt the feelings of our resource persons. Please proceed.
Clerk of Court and ex-officio sheriff of Manila, RTC Manila, is stating that Attorney Harry Roque has no hearing on August 16 and did not appear in the courts of Manila on said date. Mr. Chair, I hate to say it, but clearly, Attorney Harry Roque, our former secretary, and my former professor, law professor, lied to this committee. And that amounts actually to disrespect of the members of the committee, which is contemptible under Section 11E of the Rules of the House of Representatives on inquiries in aid of legislation. I therefore move, Mr. Chair, that Attorney Harry Roque be cited for contempt for disrespecting the members of this committee when he lied in order to evade attending the hearing of this committee where he was invited, pursuant to Section 11E of the Rules of the House of Representatives in aid of legislation.
Stay and participate even if they were held in contempt. But I'd like to emphasize to the committee that in every Congress I've participated in, many of the chairs in various committees always pride themselves in affording courtesy to former members. We do that as a matter of practice, as a matter of courtesy. And second, I actually read the section, Mr. Chair, that you cited. And Section 11, paragraph E, acting in a disrespectful manner towards any member, I have to be honest with all of you, I think the resource person was the exact opposite. He apologized for what he claims is an honest mistake. I wasn't disrespected, and I think most members here probably weren't. It would be stretching it to the limit to cite someone in contempt who apologized, made a mistake, is now showing up and participating. That's not being disrespectful, Mr. Chair. Anyway, having said that, I respect the opinions of the others, and again, I'd like to appeal to because the parliamentary status is there's a motion pending on the floor, and I'm appealing to my colleague to find it in his heart and to maybe find a solution to his motion.
With due respect to the manifestation of the good SDML, giving due respect to a former colleague, we give it them. Well, in fact, but of course, that will not be an excuse for a former member to be cited in contempt because, well, in fact, for the record, we have cited in contempt Governor Mamba, a former colleague in the House. At that time, he was the elected governor. So, if that will be the case, Mr. Chairman, ang labas dito, pumipili lang tayo nang pwede natin i-cite in contempt. Diba? And kaya nga may Section 11 tayo to warn all those resource persons being invited to respect and answer truthfully the queries being raised by the members of this committee. Kaya wala tayong pinipili dito patos na just to be fair, Mr. Chairman.
Being a part of this Congress before, if he believes that this committee has all the power to contempt anybody else,
That is recognized, Your Honor.
if you recognize that, therefore, your public apology also include that you believe and realize that this committee has the right to order you in contempt.
That is recognized, Your Honor.
That's the only thing that I would like to say, Mr. Chair. That's the reason why I said let us hold this in abeyance, because I'm not objecting. I'm not objecting. I am just asking that we hold this in abeyance, all right? And that's the only reason why. I'm not objecting at all. If, for example, the two-thirds of this Quad committee would cite him in contempt, Mr. Chair, I would not in any way object, but I have given my manifestation.
The chairman should rule. Now, if there is any objection, it will be subject to votation. So why don't we follow our rules?
Thank you for that reminder, Congressman Akop. The reason why, when the motion was made by the movant, the chair immediately suspended the hearing so that we can confer among each other and see whether indeed a violation was committed before this committee, and that violation is a contemptible act before the members of the committee. We do respect the opinion of Congressman Paul Dasa in saying that it is the exact opposite because to most of the members of the committee, lying before this committee after you took an oath is a contemptible act in the committee. Therefore, following as well the arguments raised by other members, the motion that we will decide is a motion to cite Attorney Harry Roque in contempt, which comes with it the penalty of a detention in the detention facility of the House of Representatives. Now, since there is already a motion by Congressman Ron Salo, it is now the opinion of the chair, which I hope my co-chairs would likewise follow, to vote on the motion.
Mr. Chair,
Before
we do the voting,
okay, Congressman Fernandez.
we recognize and appreciate Attorney Harry Roque's being apologetic. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Chairman, it took us so many hours or maybe minutes to discuss this motion that was moved by Congressman Salo. And we know for a fact that he is really so apologetic about to the issue that what had happened. But unfortunately, I still remember the last time that we have discussed the issue of the SMNI. Celis and Badoy was cited in contempt. And Attorney Harry Roque was so vocal about attacking our institution and every members of this house. And I wanted to ask Secretary Roque before we render our vote on this issue, because as an institution, Attorney Roque, you malign each and every member of this house by telling that we are all corrupt and we are conniving with the DPWH. And a while ago, we were discussing about it. And we are very hurtful of what you have said in that video that we have seen. as much as we wanted to accept your apology, somehow behind our minds and our hearts, there is this something that lingers in in all of us, that you are being apologetic in this committee, but somehow when you are outside of this committee, bad words are being thrown against all of us. So, Attorney Harry Roque, can you somehow tell us why it is so that if you are here, you are being so nice with us, but if you are outside, it's the other way around? Can we have some comment, Attorney Harry Roque? Please.
Your Honor, aside from the fact that I respect the institution where I came from, there is also proper decorum. So I have always maintained that as a lawyer, I should be in top behavior while in Congress, and that is why there's a substantial difference when one is in the exercise of freedom of speech outside and when one is before an institution like Congress. No? Well, thank you very much for contemplating, Your Honors, whether or not this committee will cite me in contempt. I will, of course, accept it because I have no choice. But, Your Honor, I would like also to emphasize that the committee must abide with its own rules. No? And for now, I would like to make a query to the 4 committee secretaries of the Quad if we in fact have a quorum as we take this vote. Because I think as a person who may or may not be detained, I need to ensure at least that the rules are followed, that there be a 2/3 vote of the body, there being a quorum. And I do not know what quorum is involved, given that there is a Quad committee now, and which is actually a first as far as legislative history is concerned, no? That there are 4 committees. I'm just doing so, Your Honor, because I leave my faith to you, but that faith should, of course, be in conformity with the rules. But thank you very much, Your Honors.
Yeah,
Mr. Chair.
my question,
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Secretary, is that are you being truthful with all your accusations against the institution and against all the congressmen when you deliver those statements after the contempt that was issued by all of us with Celis and Badoy?
Your Honor, I still represent Celis and Badoy. And I raised legal grounds against the contempt. I said that there was no due process because in jurisprudence, there must be a show cause order before being cited in contempt. And I also said that the exercise of freedom of expression should not be deemed to be contemptible, especially under the facts of the Celis-Badoy case, because they were raising an issue of public interest. So I do not know what other matters the good chair is referring to, but I certainly know how the institution works. I respect the institution, but we all know that there are also abuses within the institution, no? Which should not in any way affect the integrity itself of the institution, but certain practices will have to be condemned if, in fact, one sees them happening.
Yeah, we understand you're kind of representing the SMNI, and we understand as well that of your freedom of expression. But of course, you have established also friends among the members of this house, and with that collective accusations against all of us, that really hurt a lot of members of this 19th Congress. And that's the reason maybe we have a long discussion about your predicament because of that friendship that you have established in this Congress. But of course, we have to follow our rules. As what you have said a while ago, that there are certain rules that we have to follow. Painful as it may be, but you have a lot of friends in here, but we have to do our job.
You have maligned this institution. Now, I still maintain my position to hold in abeyance these contempt charges against you. But I cannot do anything, Attorney Roque, if this whole body right now will cite you in contempt. That's the only thing that I'd like to say.
I would like to move for reconsideration. It is not the severity of penalty, but the deprivation of liberty that I am appealing from. I believe that the right to liberty is amongst the most important of basic human rights, and there being no showing that there was an actual lying, but an honest mistake, and there was no actual disrespect, as evidenced by the fact that I have appeared 3 times out of the 4 invitations, I believe that any form of punishment by way of deprivation of liberty is unwarranted. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman.
Attorney Harry Roque. Let it be of record that Attorney Harry Roque is asking for a reconsideration on the contempt orders that the committee has issued. Under our rules, there must be, again, another vote on this. And since there's no motion to vote, we will have to wait for the time that when we resume in our next hearing, we will probably consider the reconsideration, motion for reconsideration of Attorney Harry Roque.